Hello, I am Jimmy Lizondo from Real Wealth Ranching, where our goal is to maximize your profitability while improving your land the fastest with low-cost biological methods. I would like to welcome you to this blog where we're going to talk about how total grazing helps you to increase all of this. Lately, I have observed that many grazers confuse total grazing with overgrazing. Overgrazing is when we regraze an individual plant before it has had time to replenish its energy reserves, which are located in the crown and the roots of the plant. Many people confuse taking it all and coming back sooner, when in reality, this is not total grazing. And we will not get the huge response we are getting from the land, the animals, or the biodiversity and higher forage production, better leaf-to-stem ratio, higher humus buildup, better desirable species composition, and much higher number of growing points per square yard. First, let's talk about how most humus is formed. It is not from decaying litter, and now we know that at least 70% of humus is formed from digested microorganisms that fed on root exudates. What are the implications of this? This means that the better the leaf-to-stem ratio is, the more photosynthesis energy we put into the soil and into production. We produce more root exudates to feed these microorganisms. Remember, these microorganisms need to be fed to efficiently be converted to humus, with humus being the stable fraction of organic matter that cannot be further degraded. And it's what gives your soil its deep, dark brown color and its rich, earthy smell. It is your soil real fertility. Due to total grazing, we can harvest more cow days per acre per grazing. And this much higher harvest efficiency gives the rest of the acreage a longer rest period. It is this longer rest period when humus is formed. Now, before you think that there is much less litter due to a higher harvest efficiency, let us consider litter. We need litter to armor the soil surface, right? We want litter to be in close contact with soil microorganisms, right? Yes to both questions, but how much litter is needed? How much? Is there such a thing as too much litter, inhibiting sun from reaching growing points and smothering new seedlings? Yes. Let's consider a highly productive paddock that after a long rest accumulated 10,000 pounds of grass per acre. And we go in and follow the usual recommendation of take half and leave half. So we leave 5,000 pounds of forage as litter. Now that will be too much litter. It will be this thick, the mat, and it will not be in close contact, all of it with the soil microorganisms because of the sheer mass of litter. But if instead we do a total grazing, where we harvest 80% with our cows, which allows us to harvest more cow days per acre and allows for a longer rest in the rest of the acreage, we leave 2,000 pounds of forage as litter. And now this is not too much litter, but just enough. Isn't that what we want? We want litter, but not at the expense of inhibiting the ecological cycles, and the energy cycle in this instance will be impaired by too much litter, because not enough sunlight will reach the growing points, which will be shaded out by litter, and killed. Okay. So remember, soil humus is not formed by decaying litter or decaying roots, as we previously taught. It mainly comes from the digested fat microorganisms' bodies. All of this that I am talking about is not taking into account the extra cattle that total grazing allows for, and as stocking rate determines profitability, I will talk about that in the next block.